All right, mathematicians, we are on page 48, and now we are going to move to problem B. On scratch paper, I would like you to copy down 287 4/10 divided by 3, and then I would like you to set up your ratio table with decimals, times ones, tens, hundreds, times 2, 20, 200, 5, 50, 500. All of them are multiplied by our divisor on the outside. Go ahead and get this set up and then get your answers to each part of our ratio table. We'll check that in a moment. So pause the video, get this set up, and then also get all of these answers. We'll pause right now. All right, so when you went ahead and did all of these answers, we have 3/10, 3/100, and then 3/1000, 3, 30, and 300, 6, 60, 600, 15, 150, and then 1500, 1500. All right, let's go ahead and get started. And I'm looking for a number that is close but not over 287. So as I'm looking here, ooh, this 300 would have been nice, but that's too big. So let me pop down, let's see here. Oh, here's a 150. I think that's about as close as I can get. So the 150 goes here, and then I do have to have that decimal and a 0, and then I'm going to subtract those. And then what number was it that I multiplied by to get to that? Oh, it was 50. So 50 goes on the outside. Then we go ahead and subtract. I have a 4. I drop that decimal straight down like it's hot. I have a 7, a 3, and a 1. So now I'm looking for a number that's around 137. 150, that's too big. So 137. The number that's closest is actually the 60 right here. So I need to make sure that I line that 60 up in the right spot. So that's 6 tens or 60. That's got to go right here. So 60. Then I put my decimal point and my 0. So it's really important that you do line the numbers up in the right spot so that you're subtracting the numbers correctly. All right, and then the 20 goes in the margin out here. And then I subtract. So I get a 4, and I get a 7, and then 13, take away 6. That's also a 7, and I can't forget to bring that decimal point straight down. Now I'm looking for a number that is around 77 but not over, and I think that 60 is going to be my BFF for this one. So I put the 60 with a decimal and a 0 behind it, and then the 20 will go out in the margin, and then I subtract. I get a 4, I get a 7, and I get a 1, and I bring that decimal straight down. So 17 4/10 is my next number. 17 is what I'm looking for, but not over. Here's a 15. I don't think I can get much closer than that. So 15 and 0/10 goes here, and then the 5 goes in the margin, and then I subtract. I get a 4, I get a 2, that's a 0, and I bring that decimal point straight down. Now, as I'm looking, I can see that 2 4/10 is less than the 3. When I'm looking out here, unless I go into these little teeny tiny decimals, which I could do, I'm actually going to use my knowledge of multiplication right now. So once I get down to this point where I could go straight into the decimals, that's going to take me a really long time to do, and I actually did do that on one of my problems that I tried to work out that way, and it took me a really long time to actually get to that point. In fact, I'll show you when I tried to do this one. I did go ahead and do the 3/10, but look at how long that took me to do it. It was multiple steps of just doing 3/10 minus 3/10 minus 3/10. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my knowledge of repeated addition, or repeated just kind of subtraction, I guess, here. And I'm going to think to myself, well, 3 times what number gets me to 24? I'm going to ignore that decimal for just a moment, okay? I do know that there'll be a decimal there in the tenths, right? There's one decimal spot that's marked. So what number times 3 gets me to 24? That's what I'm going to look at. So 3 times what number gets me to 24? I'm going to follow it across. Okay, and then I'm going to follow it up. So 3 times 8 is 24. So if 3 times 8 is 24, if I do 8/10, then that would get me to my 2 4/10. So that, my friends, is what I'm going to do. So in the margin, my answer will actually be 8/10. 8/10. So 3 times that 8/10 is going to get me right at 2 4/10, and I have 0 left over. Now, I'm not done, because I need to add all of these up. And I'm going to be very careful because I have tens, I have ones, and then I have a tenth. So I'm going to just add these guys up first. So 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say 90.0. Then I have the whole number of 5. I could have just said 95, I guess. I'll just say 5.0. And then I have 8/10. Very, very important that you're lining everything up. So I'm going to go ahead and add, drop my decimal, and there's my answer. So 95 and 8/10. So in the next problem or two, you are going to be faced, when you get down to the bottom here, as soon as you see that this number, when you subtract 2 4/10, as soon as you see if these numbers up here don't work exactly, then look to see if there is a number that you could multiply the divisor by to get to that number by putting that decimal point in. We'll do one more together, but the same thing is going to happen on the next page. Please take a picture of this in Seesaw on the next slide, and then also don't forget to add that answer in, 95 and 8/10. Take a picture of this in Seesaw, and then I will meet you on the next video.